Story 1. The Aquarium Stranger. When I was in 7th grade, my class went on a field trip to Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies. We lived in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, a mountain town surrounded by endless forests and rolling hills. Our science teacher, Mr. Russo, was supposed to watch us, but he was too relaxed, too careless. His laid-back attitude let me and my friend Aiden slip away from the group without being noticed. The aquarium was eerily empty, lit only by the blue glow of the massive fish tanks. As we walked through the dark passages, the silence pressed in. Just the hum of the tanks. Just our footsteps. Then we heard it. "Hey!" The voice was sharp, commanding. A man in cargo shorts and a green t-shirt stepped from the shadows. He asked if we were with the school trip. I hesitated, but Aiden quickly said yes. "Come with me," he ordered. We thought he worked there, so we followed. But instead of leading us back to the lobby, he took us through dark hallways, past flickering exit signs, until he opened a door that led outside, to the back of the building, near the woods. He said he'd drive us back around to the front. We were nervous, but too scared to argue. When we climbed into his car, the doors locked automatically. The sound made my blood run cold. Then, in a chilling voice, he said, "If either of you tries to run, I'll kill you." He pulled a knife from the glove box. The blade caught the faint light as the car rolled deeper into the woods. Every few seconds, he glared at us in the mirror. Eventually, he pulled onto a deserted road, stopped, and dragged me out of the car. He told Aiden to stay put if he wanted me alive. Then he started walking me toward the trees, knife hidden in his pocket. I looked back and saw Aiden sliding across the seat, ready to escape. His eyes met mine. "Run!" I screamed. We bolted. The man sprinted after us. Then he hurled the knife. It whistled past my head and clattered against the rocks just inches from my feet. We didn't stop. We didn't dare look back. Somehow, we made it back to the aquarium. Russo never noticed we were gone. We never told anyone. But I still wonder, what would have happened if we hadn't run? Story 2. The Colonial Ghost Tour. In 8th grade, my class took a trip to Washington, D.C. After days of museums and monuments, our teachers decided to treat us with something fun, a colonial ghost tour. That night, under the dim streetlights, we walked through preserved neighborhoods, cemeteries, and centuries-old homes. The guide told us tragic stories, tales of death, betrayal, and sorrow that clung to those rotting walls. Most kids took photos, hoping to catch orbs. But my roommate Jessica wasn't like them. She snapped only a few pictures, choosing instead to listen quietly. We stopped at a small 2-story home with windows glowing faint blue. The guide told us about the family who had lived there, a husband who adored his wife until she died giving birth to their daughter. The man, broken and bitter, grew to despise his daughter's appearance. He kept her locked inside, forcing her to sew and weave upstairs. The story haunted me. I imagined her trapped in those walls, alone with her father's resentment. Jessica took a single photo of the house. A moment later, she froze, staring at her camera screen. "Look," she whispered. I leaned over. In the photo, zoomed into the upstairs window, were 3 figures staring back at us. The first was a woman, faint and ghostly. Behind her, a taller man. But there was a third shape too, a woman's body, harder to see, her skin nearly invisible in the blue glow. Jessica's hands shook. "That's not supposed to be there." I asked the guide if anyone else had ever lived with the family. She seemed caught off guard before finally answering. "Yes, there was a servant, a woman." Jessica and I looked back up at the window. It was empty now, but deep down we knew. The house wasn't empty. It never had been. Story 3. The Abandoned Building. By senior year of high school, I thought nothing could scare me anymore. Then my forensics teacher, Mr. Stevenson, convinced the school to approve a field trip to an abandoned building deep in the woods, a place that had once been a crime scene and drug den. The road, there was almost hidden, overgrown with grass. The building towered over us, 8 floors high, its top levels unfinished, crumbling into ruin. Inside, the air was heavy with dust and rot. Graffiti covered the walls. Broken glass crunched under our shoes. Stevenson gave his lecture, but some of us wandered off. Me and my friend Gianna went exploring. We climbed floor after floor until we reached the top levels, where the wooden foundations were rotting beneath our feet. Holes yawned in the floorboards, the kind you could fall straight through. That's when Gianna stopped me. Her voice trembled. "Look up there." Through one of the holes above us, an arm dangled down. Pale hand, long black sleeve. The arm didn't move, except to make a strange ticking sound, like someone clicking their tongue to call a cat. Then it waved at us, beckoning. Gianna begged to leave. I tried to laugh it off, but unease twisted my stomach. Suddenly, the arm vanished. A second later, we heard fast, heavy footsteps scraping against the wood above us. Someone was up there, crawling closer. We bolted toward the stairwell. But before we could reach it, something crashed behind us. A man stood at the far end of the room, facing the wall. Then, with a slow, unnatural twist, his head turned to look at us without moving his body. His face wrong. His clothes wrong. He didn't look like an explorer. He looked dangerous. We ran. Down one flight. 2, 3. I looked back. He was there, watching us from the top of the stairwell. "Go!" I screamed. We tore down the steps. 5 flights. 6. My lungs burned. I dared to look up again, closer this time. He was chasing us. By the time we reached the bottom, he was gone. We stumbled back to the group, shaken and pale. Mr. Stevenson scolded us for wandering, but he never knew the truth. That building wasn't abandoned. Something still lived there,